That's me using the mouse wheel to go get those up and down. Okay, let's confirm the points here, and then we're going to go over this real quick here for folks in here. Yeah, Jangles, this is massive right now. I'm trying to figure out where to put everything here. That's like, okay, I got to get 120 points in every single one of these here, which means, okay, if I want all the passes, right, that means 120 ranks of this, right, in every single one of these. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 times 3 is 9 times 120. That's 8. That's 180. Yeah, 1,080 skill points or champion points you have to fill in all the passives and everything here. That's freaking ridiculous. That's a lot of grinding. That's going to be a while until somebody finds some type of grinding. So let's take a look at this. Curse under the mages. You have Elemental Expert. Increases your flame, frost, and shock damage each point that you put in. You have Blessed. Increases the effectiveness of your healing. You initiate. You have Elfborn. Increases the spell critical damage of your healing. And then you have Spell Erosion. Increases the amount of spell resistance and your spells ignore. For 10 points in this, you get Vengeance. Guarantees the next spell will be critical hit after you block 3 spells. Then you have Spell Precision, which is when you put 30 points in, increases your spell critical rating by 12%. Foresight reduces your magic cost for your next spell by 80% when you drink a potion. You got to put 75 points in. And then you got Arcane Well. Gives 20% chance to, when you kill an enemy, to open an Arcane Well, which restores 1,051 magicka to you and your allies for 2.5 meters in the area. You got to put 120 into this to get that as well. Under the Atronach, we have Heavy Weapons Expert. This increases your damage to your light and heavy attacks with the maces and axes. You got Bow Expert, which increases your damage with light and heavy attacks with the bow. You got Blade Expert, which increases the damage of your light and heavy attacks with daggers, swords, and two-hander swords. And you got Staff Expert, which increases the damage of your light and heavy attacks with the destruction and restoration staffs. For 10 points inside this, you get Retaliation. Increase the damage of your next physical attack by 30% after blocking a heavy attack. Next, you have Repertoire, which gives you 25 damage back to the attacker when you block a melee attack. Then you have Tactician, which sets off enemies off balance when you successfully roll dodge and avoid their attack. Finally, you have Butcher. Light and heavy attacks deal an extra 5% extra damage when targets are below 25%. Under the Ritual, you have Thaumaturgy, which increases your damage to poison, disease, and magic. You have Precise Strikes, which will give you critical damage on your physical attacks. You have Piercing, which will increase the amount of armor your physical attacks ignore. You have Mighty, which increases your physical damage. And for 10 points in this, you get Opportunist, which increases your damage in the next physical attack by 50% after you interrupt a target. Perfect Strike, which increases your weapon critical rating by 12%. Exploiter increases your damage against off-balance enemies by 10%. And then you got Last Stand, which gives you grants major heroism when you fall below 20% health, increasing your ultimate gain by 3 every 1.6 seconds. This can only occur every 30 seconds. It also doesn't mention how long this lasts right now. Under the warrior side, we have the Steed. We have Block Expert, reduces the cost of blocking. Medium Armor Focus increases the armor of your medium armor with 5 or more sets, or 5 more pieces or so. Spell Shield, which increases your spell resistance. Resilient, which increases the amount of damage reduces the amount of damage you take from critical hits. You have Invigorating Bash for 10 points on the steed here. Gives you 20% to restore 1,232 health every time you bash an enemy. You have Phase. Anytime you block an attack, increase your dodge chance by 10% for 3 seconds. This only can happen every 20 seconds. That's for 30 points there. For Shield Expert, you have increased armor and spell resistance of a shield by 75% for 75 points on the steed. And then finally, you have Reinforce. When blocking, gain damage shield for 246 for every 20 seconds. Under the lady, you have Light Armor Focused. Increases your armor by X% when wearing 5 pieces or more of light armor. You have Thick Skinned. Reduces the amount of damage you take your damage takes over. Reducing the amount of damage you take from overtime effects, basically dots. Elemental Defender reduces the flame, frost, and shock damage dealt to you. Hardy reduces these poison, disease, and magic damage dealt to you. And for putting 10 inside of here, you get Spell Absorption, restore 2,240 magicka when you take magic damage equivalent to 20% of your health. Resilient, restore 246 health when you are hit by a critical attack. Critical Leech, restore 246 health whenever you're hit with a physically crit. And then Unchained, reduces stamina cost of abilities by 80% for 8 seconds after doing a break free of a stun, knockdown, fear, disorient, or stagger. And still under the warrior here, we have the Lord. Bastion, increase the effectiveness of your damage by absorbing effects. Quick recovery. Increase the effectiveness of your healing. Healing received. Heavy Armor Focus, increase your armor by 0 per percent for having 5 or more pieces of heavy armor. Nourishing, increase the effectiveness of your healing potions. Combat Medic, reduce the damage received while resurrecting another player by 15%. That's with 10 points in. Absorbs 2,464 damage when drinking a potion. Revival absorbs 12,320 damage for over 5 seconds after you are resurrected. Infusion increases another player's magic regeneration by 210 when you resurrect them. Oh, pretty nice stuff here. Now this is more of the thief abilities here. Magician reduces magic cost of spells. Tumbling reduces the stamina cost for roll dodging. Bashing Focus reduces the stamina cost for bash attacks. Warlord reduces the stamina cost for spells and abilities. Ensnare gives you, for putting 10 points in the tower here, you get 33% chance to reduce enemies' movement speed by 20% for 3 seconds anytime you hit them or with a bash attack. Inspiration Boost increases your inspiration gain by 20%. Mara's Gift, when killed, and heal all allies in an 8-meter radius by 3,200. And War Mount increases your mastery amounts, removing the stamina cost from outside of combat. Mooncalf. This is the lover now. Mooncalf increases your stamina regeneration. Healthy increases your health regeneration. Arcanist increases your magicka regeneration. Tenacity increases your magicka stamina when you do a heavy, or increases your amount of magic and stamina you get back from your heavy attacks. You have Fortune Seeker here. Increases the amount of gold you find from treasure chests by 50%. Synergizer, which gives you an extra 2 ultimate every time you activate a synergy. You have Treasure Hunter, increases the quality of the items you find in treasure chests. And Windrunner, which increases the movement speed by 2%. And then you have the Shadow here. You have Nimble, reduces the amount of damage dealt to you by X amount when you roll dodge. You have Sprinter, reducing the cost of sprinting. You have Elusive, reduces the duration of Sneer, Fair, and Disorient effects. You have Shade, reduces the stamina cost of moving while in stealth. And you get, with 10 points in this, you get 10% more chance to double the yield from your noble resource nodes. You have Merchant Favored, reduces the cost of armor repairs by 10%. That's for 30. Master Gatherer, which will reduce the gather times by 50% for 75 points put in. And then you have Shadow Strike. After killing an enemy with heavy attack, enter a stealth for 2.5 seconds. That's for 120. And this is how it is right now. And it looks like you can also redistribute points too. I'm kind of interested. Oh, you're attempting to distribute all your constellations. Any pending changes you have will be reverted. This will charge you 100 gold when you're committed yourself into changes. There's no cost if you do not remove any points from at least 1 star. Okay. So that's the constellations right now. That's pretty awesome on there. But again, this is going to be a long way going here. A few things I did notice. There is stuff to reduce the cost of your blocking and your wall dodging, but I don't see anything to reduce the cost of break freeze. There is like abilities that come with it, but not anything that's super effective with that. Here, let me just see if I can find those again. Nope, not this one. Nope. It seems like it'd be more in this area anyways. This is like your blocking here. Block expertise, reducing the block costs. Reducing critical hits. See, this gives you reduced cost to abilities after you do the break free, but you're still breaking free. Reduces kind of reduces stamina cost of your abilities. Magicka reduces cost of stamina roll dodging. Reduces stamina cost for bash attacks. Yeah, this is all your regeneration here. Reduces the cost for Delta U when roll dodging, but not the actual cost of it. Reduces sprinting cost. Reduces stamina cost when in stealth. And elusive reduces duration. Now, this is kind of nice here. This is reduces snare